We are just 2 days away from one of the busiest travel periods of the year. But ahead of Thanksgiving, 2016 is already on its way to being the deadliest year for crashes in Missouri in nearly a decade.
ABC 17's Lindsey Burning looks into why these deadly crashes are on the rise for the second year in a row and what's being done to change it in this special report.
829. That's the number of people who have died on Missouri roadways so far this year. From 2006 to 2014, you can see there was a general downward trend. But last year, the number of deaths outpaced the previous year by more than 100. And now in 2016, those 829 victims mean there have been about 50 more deaths so far this year compared to this time last November.
2 wonderful children were lost. I'd like something done.
That was the father of Carly Jones this past July after his teen daughter and friend Caleb McLean died in a crash on Highway 54. Jones is one of many asking for answers after hundreds of deadly crashes across the state this year. I asked the Missouri State Highway Patrol why the spike in state crash deaths now.
One of the biggest things is since the price of gas has gone down, we have seen a tremendous amount of an increase in the number of miles that are traveled. And so when we see that increase in the additional miles traveled out there, there are more chances for crashes to take place.
Right now, Missouri has the 4th lowest gas prices in the nation with an average of $1.89 a gallon. That's fallen dramatically since the state's highest average gas price in 2008 with an average of $3.94 a gallon. And with those lower gas prices, the latest data from the Missouri Coalition for Roadway Safety shows vehicle miles traveled in the state jumped up 1.6 billion miles from 2013 to 2014. The Highway Patrol says there are 3 main factors that lead to many of these crashes.
Inattention, of course, is the leading cause of all crashes. And then we have speed, and then, of course, impaired driving is the number 3 cause.
MoDOT Highway Safety Director Bill Whitfield says texting and driving is a growing problem and falls into the number 1 cause of crashes, inattention.
Oftentimes you're looking away for a minimum of 5 seconds. And so in essence, for that time, you're driving while blind.
Hott says texting and driving becomes an issue when many drivers think they can multitask. So we put it to the test. On the first run, I drove right through a stop sign.
I don't think you hit too many of the cones, but you did run right through the stop sign. I don't think you even saw that the one time that you were texting and then going through. And of course, that's, you know, kind of the stuff that you miss when you're driving.
So I tried again on a different part of the course. But since I was texting, I didn't have enough time to react before running over an obstacle thrown into the road.
Oh, geez.
If that was a person or a bicycle or a whatever, what would happen?
I would have hit somebody.
Right. While you were texting.
Yeah.
I mean, you caught it at the last minute, but
It's probably too late.
And on the last try, I drove off the right side of the road.
That causes people to panic and, of course, jerk the wheel really hard. And then that's what,
Right.
over 50% of the time, that's what is killing people out here on the road.
ABC 17 News reported last year the Coalition for Roadway Safety had a goal to reduce crash deaths to 700 or fewer by the end of 2016. But with more than 100 deaths above that number already, the state will not reach that goal. I asked officials if anything is being done to change the trend.
We need to step back and really not look at reasons or excuses maybe for why these fatalities are going up, but look at the culture of the drivers.
The coalition recently released a 4-year strategic highway safety plan that kicks off January 1st. The plan, called Missouri Blueprint, a partnership towards zero deaths, identifies 5 strategies to bring down those numbers. 1. Change the traffic safety culture, in part by educating drivers on the dangers of distracted, aggressive, and impaired driving. 2. Implement highway safety legislation, including a cell phone ban for all drivers, a primary seatbelt law, and increased transportation funding. 3. Increase enforcement efforts by focusing on high crash corridors and work zones and more sobriety checkpoints and saturation patrols. 4. Implement engineering solutions like installing more shoulders with rumble strips, innovative intersection designs, and improving curve safety. And 5. Enhance pedestrian safety by installing or improving signage, signals, and pavement markings. Whitfield says the blueprint has established a new goal: 0 deaths on Missouri roadways.
If you ask anyone in your family or your coworkers or your friends what's an acceptable number for them to lose due to a traffic crash, the answer will always come back 0.
Officials couldn't tell me exactly how much these efforts will cost, but say it will be up to everyone from state, city, and county governments to the dozens of agencies that came together to work on the blueprint. Whitfield says the coalition still has an interim goal of reaching 700 deaths or fewer in a year before it can reach zero.
Crashes killed 13 people in the state last Thanksgiving holiday weekend. Starting Wednesday, troopers will be stationed every 20 miles along the interstates and major highways to watch out for violations.